Hello everyone, I'm your boy Ben Boy, and welcome to a bit of a different video. So, normally when I play games, I will review them, or maybe do an overview of them, where I just play it and tell you my opinions without really critically reviewing the game. I've done critical reviews where I will pick out pros and cons, and tell you things I like and dislike, and ultimately tell you my overall opinion of it that way. I have played games for funny moments videos, which I have a couple of them coming soon, so stay tuned for those. But I've never really done a video like this. Halo Online ElDeWrirto had come out, and I'm not going to get too far into it, but it is going to be shut down due to some property issues with Microsoft. Now I thought, Ben, you've been enjoying playing this game yourself. There are certain things about this game that are phenomenal, and you need to make at least one video about this game now that it's actually out and released. There is one feature in this game that is so important to me that I want to give it its own video, and I swear to God if I do not see this feature in video games in first-person shooters in the next 5 years, I am going to be so livid. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an overview video of a literal setting in a video game. Just a setting. That is it. Let me show you that setting. So if we go into settings here, here it is. This here is called View Model Configuration. This is mind-bogglingly important to video games. Let me show you what View Model Configuration does. Let's go on the pit and let's start Forge, which, by the way, I will note, I am not playing on a mouse and keyboard. I have my PS4 controller hooked up with this lovely software called DS4. If you guys are PC players and you are not a huge fan of Xbox controllers, no worries, DS4 has got you covered. You can find tutorials on how to download it. You just need a this one software, I forget the name of the software, but you need to download this one software, install it on your computer, and then you need to get DS4, which is entirely a different thing. Basically what DS4 does is it takes your DualShock 4 controller and maps it to an Xbox 360 controller so you can use it almost as if it were an Xbox 360 controller for most games. Now, if you notice, Ben, your assault rifle looks a little low. It actually looks kind of nice. It actually looks pretty clean in my opinion. And look over here, look. There's a battle rifle. That is also kind of low. But it looks clean, it looks nice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to View Model Configuration. So let us go to the standard Halo 3 view models and apply that. So this is what you see in the normal Halo 3 game. Now obviously the models are swapped out for Halo 4 variants of the weapons, but this is what playing normal Halo 3 looks like. Your weapon is kind of up here, you know, okay, my arm a little bit over there on the left is broken, but just ignore that. You know, you have your standard weapons, so on and so forth. Now, they do have other model presets. For example, they also have Default, which is the default Halo Online view model, which uses the Halo 3 models. I believe the Halo 3 view models and the default are pretty much the same thing. You have Centered Crosshair, which is used for when you play like me and your crosshair is in the center of the screen rather than, you know, in the low middle like Bungie used to do with their games. And as you can see, the weapons are really zoomed in when you have it like this. They're really zoomed in. They're kind of low, but they ultimately are, you know, it ultimately looks very zoomed in. Like I can barely see my SMG on the screen right there. Like it is actually kind of ridiculous. So let's go down the line. We have the 380 Halo 390 field of view models. So there also is a field of view slider in this game, but here is the field of view slider for when you're playing on 90. Pretty nice. I like how the weapons are a bit high, kind of in your face. A bit annoying, but also kind of cool. Then you have Halo 2 Anniversary. So if you were a fan of Halo 2 Anniversary, you can have the Anniversary view models. adjust them height settings to that. Then you can use the 120 field of view centered. So if you have your field of view set to 120 and it is centered, then this should be the viewpoint for you. But I've created Doom. It positions my weapons far away to the right and very low, kind of like how Doom works. Now, here is where this setting fucking shines. I'm going to show you a series of... Well, first I'm going to show you how this works, right? So you go in here, you go to Edit Settings, and then you can... Let's just click, I don't know. Just click Default here and apply it. You can click little Edit here, and it gives you sliders. You can move it all the way forward, you can move it all the way back, you can move it left, right, you can move it, and then you can also move it... You can also move it up and down. You can do all kinds of cool shit with this mod. It is actually amazing. So, for example, if you want it exactly like the video game Doom, down to a T, you could give it something like this. So now I'm walking around. It's very Doom. It's in the bottom of the dead center. You can run around and shoot it. Now, this is how I used to have my view models, hence the name Doom. But I had found that I like them a bit further away and slightly to the right. So this is how I play Halo Online while it still is activated right now in its current state. So as long as Halo Online is up and if I make another video on it, this is probably how you will see my weapons. So, let me give you a little example here. Let me switch back to the Halo 3 standard. Now, in Halo 3, a problem that I had, or rather a problem that I didn't know I had until I played it for many hours, is the rocket launcher. As you can see, the rocket launcher takes up a good solid right side of your screen. You cannot see past it. And especially in the new Halo games like Halo 5, the sniper rifle tends to do the same thing. Well, with these lovely view model configurations, like for example my Doom preset, as you can see, I moved it down and right to the point where it is not obstructing my screen at all, and it still fires and reloads like a normal RPG. So as you can see, I can successfully... Oh yeah, by the way, Halo Online added a sprint, which... I'm not a huge fan of the new Halos. I do enjoy Halo 3 and Halo Reach, but I will say I enjoy sprinting in Halo. I feel like sprinting in Halo should have been in from day one, because all sprinting really does is helps you get around the map faster. I don't like the whole boost jumping and clambering system, but I do like sprinting. Anyway, so I think this view model stuff is really cool. So we're going to use the SMG here, and I'm going to go somewhere and show you all the different styles of view models that you can do with this, according to different video games that you might like to play. First off, we have the Doom. I know I already showed you this, but I'm going to show you all these different view models with the SMG. So as you can see, it is low-centered to my screen. So if you've played the old Doom or even the new remastered Doom, and you like having your gun in the bottom middle of your screen, you can put it there. And honestly, I do like this. I like it slightly to the right, like I had it before, but ultimately I really think that this view angle is really nice. It's very clean. It allows you to see 90% of your screen in your HUD. It's really nice. Now here is what I like to call the CSGO. Here we have a very right side. It's actually pretty broken for this Halo model, but this is what I like to call the CSGO. It's very to the right side. Your crosshair is completely unobstructed, which is a necessity in CSGO. I mean, I don't really play CSGO, but I know people who play it. I like to call this the CSGO because, ultimately your weapon is going to stay on the right side in CS, and it's mostly out of the way. So... you can see anywhere between right middle to all the way left of your screen pretty well, and it is far enough away that you can see anything to the far right of your screen pretty well. So ultimately, yeah, I do enjoy myself a bit of CSGO view as well. Next, we have what I like to call the first-person Arma. If you've played the game Arma, you know of how Arma works. You know that Arma has a very realistic feel to it, and if you want to make all the weapons in the Halo universe seem like they are situated in a very realistic game against your character, you can do so. For example, the SMG is a very small weapon. As you can see in the shadow, he is, holding it pretty close to himself. Ergo, this view angle allows it to seem a lot more realistic on the weapon. So let me just pick up another weapon here. Let's use the sniper rifle for an example, right? I'm going to go in and quickly edit the sniper rifle without cutting so you guys can see this. So if you want to get, like, the Arma for the sniper rifle, you're going to want to do pretty much the same thing, except you want it to be a bit more realistically situated. So, for example, you don't want it all the way out here because you can see the back of the rifle, yet you don't want it all the way close because it's not going to be that close to your shoulder. So you're going to want to lower it about eye height with the scope. You're going to want to edit it out just about to there. So I feel like this is a realistic positioning for the sniper scope because it's right up against your shoulder. Same thing with the SMG, it's right up against your shoulder. I feel like I'm actually holding this Halo sniper rifle right now, you know what I mean? Other than the fact that I'm holding a controller and this is on a computer, and I'm recording a video on a video game right now, this is pretty realistic looking, in my opinion. Right, so on to the next viewpoint. Next is we're venturing into the ridiculous now. So if you're some Call of Duty booty who likes the aim down sights feature in Call of Duty, or in this case it's really bumpy and move aroundy, so I guess in this case we're probably going to compare this to GTA 5. If you enjoy aiming down sights, well, I mean, it kind of doesn't work. I'll try it. Hold on, let me try to adjust this. I didn't do a really good job. Hold on. Let me just lower it a bit. So where's up and down? There we go, that's a bit better. So, if you're a fan of aiming down sights in video games, you can literally line your crosshair up with your sights, so it's almost like you're aiming down sights. So if you can position it just right, which I kind of did a terrible job still of, hold on. Where's left and right? Let's move it just there. See, look. So for example, if you want something concrete on the model to look at, to shoot at, and you don't like the crosshair, just focus on that little red bit on the front of the SMG and you'll be, pretty accurately hitting targets. So if you want to make it look like you're aiming down sights with your weapon, by all means go for it. Now, the angle will never be quite right because you have to remember the game is designed to be looked at from this angle. So you'll never quite get the correct lineup because everything is, like, the back of the weapon is slightly to the right of the front of the weapon, just because that's the way it's supposed to look. So, just food for thought when you're customizing your viewports, that it will look a bit different and silly when you're trying to go for an aim-down sights look with most weapons. So, for the last one, I decided to go completely balls to the wall, ridiculous, and unusable. If you want to have a rocket launcher that is literally in your fucking face, you can do that. You can do this in this game. I don't know why you'd want to do it, but you can do it. You can zoom and it'll get rid of it, dude. It's great. Oh my god, that looks so weird when you sprint. But you get the point. You can do so many cool things with this like option in the game. And I'm just baffled that no other first-person shooter has had this yet. Now, a friend of mine at, my job, when I was telling him about this, he argued, oh, well, it could give certain players unfair advantages. And you know what? I completely agree. But think about it this way, right? Is this really that much of an unfair advantage? Okay, I know that this looks ridiculous, but let's switch to one that's, let's switch to my Doom camera angles, for example. Hold on. Let's switch to my Doom angles for a minute. Is this really that much of an advantage over another player? Because even when talking about the sniper rifle and the rocket launcher, yeah, the rocket launcher takes up the right side of your screen. But in games already, we already have field of view sliders. We have sensitivity. These are all customizations that, are meant to help you improve yourself and give yourself an edge in the battlefield. So why wouldn't we have this ability? If I don't like the rocket launcher taking up the whole right half of my fucking screen, why can't I lower it like this and have the camera in a slightly different position to the point where, you know, it doesn't feel awkward, you know, and I can see a whole half of my screen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just like having my weapons not constantly in my face. Like, for example, if you're a player who wants to have the most amount of screen possible, now, I'm a type of player that likes to be able to see most of my screen, but I still want to see my weapons, and that way I have a reference point in relation to the way that I'm oriented. If you want your weapon completely off your screen, hey, guess what, motherfucker? All the way back, all the way down, all the way to the right. Guess what? You barely see your weapon anymore. You see a little trickle of the barrel in the screen, but that's barely. If you don't want to see your weapon, guess what? Nobody's gonna frickin' blame you. It's not gonna give you an unfair advantage. Oh man, I can't see the weapon on my screen. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's not like it's giving you that much of an unfair advantage. I'm just saying. It seems like this is something that should have been in FPSs. Like I don't know, man. It just seems like something that should be in FPSs, and it's not, and I don't understand why it is not. I actually kind of like this view angle, although my arm's a bit broken. You know, it looks like the camera is attached to, like, my left hip. You know what I mean? And, you know, some parts of these models may be buggy. For example, when I reloaded the rocket launcher there, you kind of see, like, the glitchiness of the animation. But whatever. Us as players, we don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like, the only people who are going to care about that is people who are hardcore reviewers, right? Like, in a single player of a game, I understand if you don't want this stuff showing through because it actually matters. But in a multiplayer, nobody cares. As long as you can, you know, as long as your multiplayer is balanced, plays smoothly, and everything looks, you know, decent and all the animations work for the most part, it's okay. I've played multiplayer games with broken-ass animations, and their multiplayers were phenomenal. A game that I've played that was pretty broken, but was still phenomenal, was America's Army Proving Grounds. The only reason why I don't play that game anymore is because the servers are broken. If they fixed their servers and I didn't lag to high hell and my bullets never registered, I would play the shit out of that game. I mean, until I got bored of it, but I would still play the shit out of that game. So I guess the reason why I made this video is, out of all of the things that game developers need to take away from ElDeWrirto, I believe it's this setting. This setting could change the FPS world in such a positive way. I would absolutely love to see this happen. I have played games where weapons that you wield in the first-person camera take up 99.9% of your fucking screen, and they give you a pixel's worth of actual area to look through. So to have something like this in the game is absolutely phenomenal, and it needs to happen more to first-person shooters. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all in the next activity. Bye-bye.